I am a long-time collector of thrifted frames. In fact, it was one of the things that early on in thrifting, they said never leave the thrift store without grabbing some of those beautiful frames. So I have lots and lots and lots of frames, including the 100 or so that we actually made. So in today's video, I'm taking some of these frames, 3 to be exact, some French ticking, IOD stamps, and where is it? Some muslin, and I am going to begin what is going to be a gallery wall. In today's video, we are going to take each one of these frames, take them out of take the glass out and clean them up, get them ready for our project. It's pretty easy to bend back those staples and get the mechanics out of each frame. And once that's done, we will start to wash these. And I really only wash these with a little bit of soap and water because they weren't really filthy. They're just old. And I want to make sure that the chalk paint that I'm going to be using is going to be sticking. Once they were all washed, I set them aside and let them dry. And then when they were all dry, it was time for some paint. And I'm using a chalk synthesis paint from Wise Owl, and I'm just painting them so they would be all the same. I really wanted some continuity in this wall gallery, so I want to paint them all, and then I want to distress them all. This green frame has been around for a while, and I did use it when it was green. And now the paint is kind of chipping off. I sanded a little bit and 2 coats of the chalk synthesis paint. Once that chalk synthesis paint dried, I decided I wanted a little more color. So I went in, I had a little more of the Bergère, which is a French blue milk paint, and I just dry brushed a little bit on to each one of the frames. Once the milk paint had dried, it was time for some distressing. Now, when you do the dry brush, it looks a little unnatural until you start to sand back all around it, and then it gives it a really natural chippy paint look. So that was what I was going for. Once they were all sanded and distressed, then I put some clear wax on it, just clear furniture wax. A little bit of dark wax on the one that didn't have as much color, but that was it. And then I put them aside and it was ready to go on to the next part of our project. I'm going to be using some antique French ticking for the background of the picture frames. And here it is, and you can tell it's been used. The frames are all done. They're all dried. They're cleaned. They're ready to be put back together. I cleaned all of the glass, but I didn't think you needed to watch that, so I did that off camera. And now it's time to cut this really gorgeous, very old, you can see how old it is. It was an old, I think this was kind of like a coverlet or something. It wasn't pillowcases, but I washed it several times and still can't get all the stuff out of it. I've used it on several projects, and now I'm using it as the background of these picture frames. So what I need to do is I need to cut each one out the size that it works in the frame. So one of the neat things is those picture frames still had these inners, so it's pretty easy to pick the size properly. Oops, there that goes. We'll get that in a minute. So what I want to do is really get it like a 1/2 inch bigger all around, and I do want to stay on the stripes because it will be easier. And we're going to do that right at the edge, and just do that there, and we're going to be up at the top. So this is the bigger one. Here are my pieces, all nice, but white on white is not easy for you to see. So in order for you to see what I'm doing, I'm going to use a different background. And I am using the IOD stamp, the floral one. And I am also going to be using black ink. I did one before, and I used a much thicker fabric, and you could see the design is not quite as crisp. So I'm going to try this, and hopefully this will come out really crisp. So the smallest one is this one. Let's go. Detail, super clear. Next one is the rose. And when I'm stamping on fabric, I try to really get the ink, an extra amount of ink on my stamp. And then I really try to push it into the fabric and make sure that I've got all the details. These particular stamps are amazingly detailed, all three of them. Even that hydrangea where the leaves meet the blossom, very, very detailed. So the initial stamping on the really, really thin cotton muslin did not come out dark enough for my liking, so I redid it. So now I'm working with the linen blend fabric because this just seems to be too light. I will definitely use these for another project, but I feel it's too light for what I want to do here. There's not going to be enough contrast. So I'm trying this linen again. We'll see how this works. So this is the hydrangea. This fabric has so much texture that I couldn't rip it. I had to cut it. I did wash it, so that's why it's all raveling here. But before I use it and sew it onto a piece of the blue and white ticking, I am going to pink around the edges, use pinking shears. So I redid all three of the flowers onto this heavier linen fabric. I did it the exact same way I did it on the thinner fabric, but it came out there was so much more of the ink on the thicker fabric. And now I'm going to pin these down to the ticking pieces that we cut and get ready to sew them. And here's a sneak peek. So one by one, I actually do the exact same running stitch around every one of these pieces of linen. And I guess it's called slow stitching. I just call it regular running stitch. But it really is kind of fun, and it really is a nice way to finish off these little pieces. If I was using them on a pillow or something else, I would probably do a different stitch so that it would be something that would, not fall apart because it would have been getting too much wear and tear. But on something that's going to be framed, it doesn't really matter. It's just to add this really nice detail. So I go around every one, and what I'm using is a embroidery floss. I'm using a charcoal gray, it's a dark gray, but I split the thread. So I'm only using three different threads, three of the 6 threads that come in the embroidery floss. And here's the last one. Just going around it. And I pin it down. I think if I was doing a bigger piece or more pieces on one, I would baste it down. But the pinning it down here has worked perfectly well. And then when I get to the end on the back, I just take 3 little back stitches into just the ticking, not into the linen. Cut it off and it's done. It's almost time for the final reveal. I'm putting it together. So I'm putting together the fabric, which has the stamped linen, and then it is stitched around a piece of French ticking. And this is real antique French ticking. So this one is going to get this picture frame here, which is the most flat one. It really came out really nice with just enough blue in it to make it look like it is chippy paint. And we are going to put the glass in it, and the glass gets a little tricky. So that one went in. Let's wipe that down a little bit. Because once you put your stuff in there, you can't get the back wiped down again. So I'm going to wipe that down. Nice and clean. And I'm going to have to do some taping on these because these frames were not perfect thrift store frames, and they're missing a bunch of the little tabs to hold the whole thing in. So we will do the best we can. So this one, let's put that one in there. And I'm going to try to get it what I think is as close to the middle. And then we'll move it if we have to. They're not exactly even by any stretch of the imaginations. The fabric isn't, they're not centered. All right, let's see how we did with this one. I think I might not even move that. It's a little lopsided, but it is a little lopsided. So I think I got this backwards. So I have a big bump on the other side. I'm going to pull it just so I know that it's stretched as tight as it possibly can be. And then I'm going to push down the tabs that are here. These are pretty easy to push down. I'm sure there must be an easier way to do this, but this whole video is about using what I have and making it work. So I end up using the frog tape just to hold down that fabric, so when I attach it or when I put it up on the wall, the fabric does not push against the frame and pull it away from the wall. And it worked pretty good so far. I may change it and do something different later, but each one has to be cleaned. This frame, this larger frame, did not have any mechanics. It just had a piece of glass. So I cut a piece of foam board, and I am popping that in there. And of course, it's a little thicker between the fabric and the foam board, so it doesn't really want to work with the staples, and there's also a bunch missing. So I really embed those staples into the foam board and then push the tape down and the foam board down into the crevice that's left there. And that seems to hold it all together really, really well. So I did this for all 3 frames. And then once they were all done, all got taped, all the fabric was press down. And one of the reasons I didn't cut the fabric, because this fabric may be useful again at some point, and it'd be nice to have as much of it as available as possible. It may be recycled. I am so happy with the way this gallery wall came out. In fact, it came out better than I even expected it would. I love it. It works perfect on our light blue wall, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of compliments on it.